Maddie and Steve, they set the stage. From classic bouts to the modern age. Every slam, every story, every legacy comes alive with wrestling pedigree. So tune on in, the spotlight's bright. The ring is ready on this podcast night. It's Wrestling Pedigree. Wrestling Pedigree. Wrestling Pedigree.
Oh, how I missed that tune.
Oh, me too.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Wrestling Pedigree. I'm your host, Matty, and with me is my co-host, the last real general manager of MWL, Steve Watkins. How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic, Maddie. How are you, my friend?
I am FabWZ. I'm good. It's been a while since we've done one of these due to things beyond our control, but we're getting back into it. We had a 2 count, get back up, and then we're going to kick ass even more. So let's kick off with someone that's caused a lot of trouble in the past couple of weeks with his interviews, his allegations, and just the craziness he does. This week's episode, we are discussing Bret the Hitman Hart. As Steve got his look at that son of a bitch. I got mine at what was it? Clash at the Castle in Cardiff about 3 years ago. And this was on the morning, and I was like, we were Undertaker top on, so I was hoping to get my Shawn Michaels one on. But yeah. When we talk about Bret, what was the first match or first time you ever saw Bret the Hitman Hart?
Oh, geez, I don't remember exactly when it was, but I was a kid. I was born in '84. Bret came over to WWE in '84. I probably started watching him right away because my mom was a huge Bret Hart fan. And of course, with my mom being a huge Bret Hart fan, I started watching, and I was like, this guy is good. I don't know why he's good, because obviously I was a kid, but I'm like, he is so good.
Was it like the purple? Was he wearing purple at that time? Was he start wearing purple or was something else?
I do remember the purple.
So I remember the first time seeing him. So you were born in '84. I don't want to say my age, but I was born in '89. But I was 3 years old watching SummerSlam. And this is the first I remember I could really think of in my whole life. Watching SummerSlam '92, him a Bulldog.
Yep.
And then
I remember that match very vividly.
Since that match, I was hooked on wrestling, and then massive follower of Bret. Bret was born July 2nd, 1957, in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. He is the 8th child of 12 of Stu and Helen Hart. That Hart Dungeon is so famous now, whether you're a smart fan or just a regular fan. If you hear the Hart Foundation, you think of obviously the Harts, Jericho, I think Lance Storm.
Yep. The Harts, Jericho, Storm. I believe Benoit spent some time there.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you're talking about the Harts, you also go to the new generation of Natty, Harry Smith, TJ, Teddy Hart, and there's even some American wrestlers that were trained up in the dungeon.
Ooh. Okay, take it. I know at one point Hogan. I think Hogan was with Stu for not the dungeon, but just a little wrestler thing, and Hogan was like, "Fuck that."
Yeah, Hogan spent some time up in Stampede, and Stu stretched him out.
Stu had a thing where I remember watching Legends of the Round Table, and I think JR kept saying Stu will come up to you and he'll have his hands goes, "Oh," and just aim for the arm, and then the arm is just like just doing weird shit to it, and you just hear a creak or a crack.
Yep.
Like Stu was always hands on someone's arm. Did you ever watch any Stampede Wrestling? I don't. We never had it over here in the UK, but did you ever see any of it over your way?
I've seen it only in what's been posted in WWE Vault. Because obviously it was sold in '84, so it was before my time.
Okay. So what was your first ever WWE match that you saw Bret?
The first one that I can remember, I believe it was Bret and Jim Neidhart versus Demolition.
That's a good start to watching someone like him. What was your take on Jim Neidhart?
Wow, this dude is so strong. Like I said, I was a kid. That's all that would come to me.
I was thinking, that guy's got a beard. He's got like a beard. Yeah, you're getting there. You're getting there.
I am.
I think you just need to get ginger. Just need to get a bit red, and you'll be all right. Obviously, 92, I was watching Bret, but I think Bret really started to get into it. I think 94 was Yokozuna and a title picture.
Yep.
What was your take on WrestleMania 9? Straight in WrestleMania 9.
Oh God, you had to put me here. WrestleMania 9 to me is hands down the worst WrestleMania that there has been.
Really? Even
Yeah.
worse than I would say the pandemic or 34 or 36.
I mean, the pandemic, we got the cinematic matches. We got the Firefly Funhouse, which for all
True.
of the problems that we might have gotten with it, you look back at it now and you go, wow, this was a work of art.
I'll give you that. But I wouldn't say WrestleMania 9. I would say WrestleMania 11 is probably up there. The one I think it's Indianapolis.
No, WrestleMania 11 was Hartford, Connecticut.
Oh yeah, LT.
Yep.
Yeah. I would say that was one of not the best WrestleManias.
Yep, because that was when I got this picture taken.
That's twice now. That's twice. Yeah, so WrestleMania 9, worst in your opinion, worst WrestleMania. Why is that? Rant time.
I mean, the biggest thing is Hogan. The Hogan influence on the finish. WWE really could have done without that. They should have put the belt on Yoko, let him run with it, instead of putting the belt on Yoko just to pass it right to Hulk Hogan. It was
politics.
Yeah.
It was politics.
It was Hogan getting everything that he wanted out of Vince McMahon.
Yeah, I think he got that title, and then obviously it's in March and April WrestleMania, and then I think in the June of that UK tour he dropped the title and was never seen again in WWE until 2002.
Yes.
I think obviously we won't talk about the steroid trial that he showed up on, but after that, I think it was one of the best build-ups because you had one of the most unique finishes to the Royal Rumble. I think that following year, because Bret and Luger touch the floor at the same time.
Yep.
And then you have one of the best matches at WrestleMania 10 and one of the craziest finishes in WrestleMania main event 10.
Yes.
Let's talk about Bret versus Owen at WrestleMania 10, which is one of the best wrestling matches of all time.
Oh my God. I have said so many times, this is the best opening WrestleMania match of all freaking time. You can throw anybody in there, but it's always going to be Bret versus Owen, because not only was it a hell of a match, it told a hell of a story.
Do you think it was a hell of a story just because of they just clicked? Obviously, they're brothers, but do you think it was just because of that storyline? I mean, me and you talked about this storyline multiple times before, from Survivor Series a couple of weeks ago. Survivor Series where Owen was the only one eliminated. The Royal Rumble kick in the leg. This was one of the best build-ups at that period.
Hmm. Actually, you said it wrong. It was the
Oh.
Royal Rumble where he kicked his leg out of his leg.
Kiss his leg out of his leg. Yeah. Picking on me today. After that match though, it was just brilliant. I think obviously it's been a while since there's so much going on this past week. Owen won that match.
Yeah, Owen won with a roll up in the corner.
Roll up in the corner, and then it was clever booking because you got Bret losing the opening match and then winning the WWE title in the main event with a roll up in the corner.
Yes. Which, you know what? I don't know why they didn't go with a feud between Bret and Owen for that WWF championship at that point.
Because it's WWE creative. Back then, I think it was just Vince, Bruce, and Cornette. I want to say Cornette.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and then Bro came along just after.
Yep.
Go on and get what you get, because if it's someone else, I'm gonna kick her ass. Ah, son of a. The real title.
Yes.
Is that the title that Cody went on a Saturday Night main event with like a few months ago? Is that the same? Not the like actual title, but the same kind of title.
Yes and no, because this one is actual WWF. You can't really see it. There we go.
Yeah. Oh well, if we get copyrighted, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
During that couple weeks ago, we did a new generation episode of that era, and we were talking about Bret Hart a lot. During that period, is there a match apart from Owen that stood out? And like, obviously, we won't go about the Owen Hart steel cage match or stuff like that. But is there anything apart from Owen that stood out for you in that new generation era that was Bret?
As far as Bret matches, his match on Raw against the 1-2-3 Kid.
Yes.
I really think that showed what the 1-2-3 Kid could really do.
I mean, Troy Waltman, man, for me was so underrated.
Yeah.
So underrated, and it's crazy, isn't it? You had him face someone like Bret, and then during those years when he was back in Attitude Era, Shawn was the one they was get young wrestlers face X-Pac and then have a massive wrestling match, and then Vince or whoever agent is or like Bruce will go to X-Pac and say, "Is that good? Could he hang with you?
Yep.
Should we put a rocket behind him?" So that's a lot of responsibility they put on X-Pac, and it's a good way of doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we get into, I was saying, We went past 95, so 96, WrestleMania 12, Iron Man match. I think this match was amazing, and I could still watch that match, and I don't care what happened. This match was freaking awesome.
I could still go back and watch that match, but at the same time, I'm also picking that match apart every time I watch it now. Like with Bret and Shawn, there's no reason it should have gone an hour without a pinfall.
that that's just ego, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that was ego versus ego.
Yeah. And we saw a lot of that ego throughout 96 and 97.
We sure did.
96 was average year for Bret, I thought, apart after the WrestleMania. He came back in Survivor Series against Stone Cold Steve Austin. That match was it's one of my favorite Stone Cold matches.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite Stone Cold matches. Even though Austin lost, it was I know you like the technical wrestlers. This was proper technical wrestling, wasn't it?
It was, and that was something that in WWF, Austin wasn't really known for. He was known for being the brawler. But Bret said to Vince, this Austin guy has something, let him run with it. And Vince just let them go for it.
And then it started a rocket, and by God, because he won the King of the Ring that year. He's slowly getting up, slowly building up, and then having that rivalry with Bret, that match at Survivor Series, then resulting in Royal Rumble '97.
Yep.
Which is I still class it one of the best Royal Rumbles. '92 Royal Rumbles still the best for me, but '97 is up there in the top three.
'97 was a good one.
I mean, the bottom four. Obviously, they did the pay per view in February, but the top four of that, the final four, was Bret, Austin, Vader, and Undertaker.
Yep.
That is not a bad fatal four-way to have.
No.
Obviously,
all Hall of Famers.
All Hall of Famers one heavy hitter. And the two technicals and one all-rounder. I mean, you can't go wrong with that.
Yep.
During that period, someone lost their smile.
Because they got beat up by a bunch of Girl Scouts.
Well, if you want to call the Marines the Girl Scouts, I'm glad you're living there.
No.
I think it is, isn't it? You got it was Sean, British Bulldog, and X-Pac went out on a night out in a bar, and then some Marines came up and had a bit of talk.
I didn't hear it was Marines. I just heard that they got in a bar fight.
I heard it was Marines. There was a shoot interview. I can't remember who it is, but it did say it was either Army or Marines or someone like that. He pissed off, or National Guard, or you guys got over there. It's one of those, and he pissed them off, and you guys ass whooped.
Well, then I retract my statement. Then
it could be Girl Scout. It was shown. You did pose for Playgirl after that, so it was probably the Girl Scouts. Bret won the title after Shaw dropped the title. Bret won the title. Then we had an interesting WrestleMania match where I think Sid Vicious beat Bret on a Raw.
Yep.
And then we had Austin versus Bret at WrestleMania.
Yes.
Now, apart from the match at WrestleMania 25 with Undertaker and Shawn, I will class this as my number 2, probably, as the best WrestleMania match.
Yeah, I'd say either 2 or 3.
What was your take on that wrestling match?
Oh my god, this this match made Austin,
Yes.
and it solidified him as a top of the card guy.
Hmm. Definitely. I think it's the first time I ever saw it. I was a double switch where a heel will come in as a heel come in and a heel leave as a face out. But it was just craziness. You had Ken Shamrock as a special ref. First time I seen blood,
Hmm.
really, like Austin bleeding that vigorously, and it's just bell to bell was just tremendous storytelling.
It was.
And I love my storytelling, and sometimes you don't need to talk. Sometimes you just can tell it in that ring, and those two did. Well, I think
Yep.
three because Ken Shamrock played a great part in that also, especially at the end. Um, After that, what was your take on Bret Hart's anti-American switch?
I have mixed feelings about it. I
Oh, do tell.
I like that, he started the Hart Foundation again.
Mm-hmm.
It it, it brought Davey, Jim, Owen, and Pillman back into the limelight, into the main event picture. At the same time, Bret was my boy. I didn't want to have to root against him,
But you
but
gotta
I
know.
did.
Hmm.
But I did because you know I'm an American. It's what I'm supposed to do.
You say you're American.
I have Canadian blood.
Exactly. Exactly. So you can have that whole level field because it's you.
Yeah. So that's really why I was right there.
You're literally on the fence.
Yes.
um, I really enjoyed the anti-American. I loved the I think it was it Pittsburgh was it like a toilet or something like that. He was just literally ripping every town, every show they were on. He was ripping the city. SummerSlam '97, a really good match with Undertaker, with Shawn was the special ref. People say that was the change of New Era into Attitude Era, that match. Um, I, do you remember this? I mean, there's a habit Bret had in '97 of this, but did you see the spit? He's the spit he did to Shawn, and then Shawn swung the chair and hit Undertaker.
Yep.
I mean, if Bret wasn't a wrestler, I think it would be a world champion spitting
Oh
contest.
yeah.
I mean, that guy could do a loogie like anything. Um, did you ever? Obviously, you probably watched it on the WWE Vault, but they did have it back there. But in your house, Canadian Stampede,
I watched that live. Yep.
that that was one of the craziest, loudest uh, fucking pops I ever heard.
Oh, dude, that Calgary crowd was so behind the Canadian boys. It it,
It was
it
crazy.
made the Canadian part of my heart happy.
What one half of it?
Yes, the maple
The,
syrup soaked part of it.
I was gonna say the maple leaf was just flapping about like that. Yeah, that was crazy. That was the first time I heard, I thought, wow, this. Apart from obviously as a kid, I could remember that match with Bret and Hart, and people talk about the Road Warrior pop at that same event, but I never heard a pop as a kid. When I can remember after 3 years old watching that and then thinking, "Oh, fuck me, that's loud."
Yep.
I I remember watching it as a kid, and then I'm staying up like at school. I was supposed to be asleep. This is like 3 in the morning, and I got it on like volume 7, so I could hear what JR and that say, but I cannot hear. So my parents can't hear it. literally when the pop happened, I had to turn it to mute. I had to turn it to 0 just so I don't get caught. That's how loud it was. It was a great match, and it definitely it's one of the underrated. Don't you think WWE events?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Um, here we go. I always wanted to talk to you about this.
Oh no.
Survivor Series 1997.
Oh Jesus fucking Christ.
Now I'm gonna leave the floor to you because I either gonna have a rant or it's either gonna be really fun for me or it's gonna be fun for the audience. What's your take on the Montreal Screwjob?
There is so much that they could have done with this match. There's so much that they could have done with having Bret drop the title. He wasn't going right over to WCW. He still had a little bit of time where he could have dropped the title to Shawn.
Hmm.
There was no reason to do it in Canada where Bret is seen as a hero. That's the equivalent of having the Iron Sheik legitimately break Hulk Hogan's back in Tampa, Florida.
That's true.
I remember watching Survivor Series 97 and seeing Earl Hebner call for the bell. And I looked at my mom and said, Bret didn't tap. Why is Hebner calling for the bell? Bret didn't tap. And then all hell broke loose. And I think that was the first night that I actually went to bed after wrestling pissed off. There's been
Wow.
plenty more since that.
Oh,
But as a 13-year-old child, I went to bed pissed off at wrestling.
yeah, the hormones out and everything. He was pissed off. Um, I blame one person for the Montreal Screwjob, and it's a person that, my God, if she ever watched this, she'll be on heat with you. I blame Mendoza
I can agree with that.
because if it wasn't with her and Eric Bischoff and the belt going through the trash can, I think Vince will let Bret drop the title on Monday Night Raw or whatever. But because that image in his head, women's title back then was okay. But if he was more scared that a the WWE Championship would be put in the bin, in the trash can, on WCW Nitro, that paranoia got to Vince.
Yep. And I have a theory that the whole thing with Medusa was Bischoff's way of paying WWF back for Ric Flair
Oh
coming
yeah,
over with the title.
91. Yeah. 91 or 92, wasn't it? He came over.
92.
92, yeah.
Or no, it was 91 because he was in the 92 Survivor Series
Royal
Royal
Rumble.
Rumble.
Yeah, because I remember WWE at one point had to blur that title.
Yep. Although now
Because
it's coming out that it wasn't really the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. It was an old WWF Tag Team Championship that he was carrying around. And that's the real reason they were blurring it out.
Oh, that's some good shit with WCW. I've been thinking about this for a long while, and I've listened to so many podcasts, Eric Bischoff podcast, 83 Weeks, there's something to wrestle with Bruce Pritchard, John Layfield one, like everybody's. And the only thing I can think of is why didn't they make it like they could have had it in Canada? Because no offense, Sean's lost so many matches in US anyway, so I don't think a Canada thing should matter. Especially if Vince didn't give a shit if it was your hometown anyway. If you see the past history he didn't give a shit. You had John Cena lose against Edge at Boston. You had Edge lose in Toronto against Cena. So I think why did they not make it a triple threat match? Because there's one person on that card that was top tier more than those two. Undertaker.
Yeah.
He was not on that card. They
No, he
could have
wasn't.
made a triple threat match, get Undertaker or get Shawn to pin one each other, or Undertaker pin Bret or whatever, and then move that title away. That means Shawn don't have to pin Bret. Bret don't have to pin Shawn, and Undertaker was the person that he could have just pinned either one of those two, get the title, and then have a great run, which he did. I think the following, like during that year anyway. But you could have done another one before then.
Right.
But you have someone like Undertaker. They could have done that on the triple threat.
They could have. But I think Bret was under the impression still that he was going to hang around until the end of his contract.
And unfortunately, after that, he smashed up the whole place. I bet you love that bit. And unfortunately, the British Bulldog and Jim the Anvil Neidhart left with him.
Mhm.
Owen stayed, which I thought was really good business for Owen to stay, break out that shell, and be on his own. What is your take on the creative structure of WCW and Bret? Because they waited a whole month. I think it's December the 6th or something like that. It's like quite a long time, like for him to debut in WCW to be a special guest referee
Yeah.
for the Starrcade main event, which was a fuck up anyway because of Hogan. What was your take on that?
I think they really dropped the ball with creative all around for Bret in WCW. I mean, having him join the NWO and lead NWO 2000 was great for him. But and he won the WCW Heavyweight Championship. Awesome. I think at that point, Bret lost his love for the business because of what happened in Montreal. And there was nothing that WCW was doing to try to get his love back for him. The one good thing that I really think WCW did for Bret was after Owen died and they had the Bret
Yeah.
versus Benoit tribute match for Owen.
I love that man.
That was a masterpiece.
Absolutely, that match was obviously all the shit that's going on with Bill. They kept showing all this stuff. That match is still amazing to watch.
Yep.
Um,
Because
it's
watching
just
that match, it wasn't a match. It was a love letter to Owen.
it was an exhibition love letter because that was pure wrestling,
Yes.
pure pro wrestling, and pure like I say it's storytelling. I mean, I just loved it. And during that time in WCW, he like you said joined the NWO. He was in the waves. He was US champ. He was world champ. Um, Special ref. He was in charge at one point, I think. However, his rivalry with Bill Goldberg, and
Bill Goldberg.
I say Bill Goldberg, not Goldberg, Bill Goldberg. Um, what's your take on that rivalry? Because I know we talked about it before, but that the rivalry was good until one of the matches.
It was good. And really I do think it's a rivalry that still goes today, even though the rivalry is much more based in reality now.
Yes, they'll definitely going now.
And I can't blame Bret for that because Goldberg was instrumental in ending Bret's career. If if Goldberg wasn't as green as he was at that time, still, even being at that point 5 years into the business, that mule kick wouldn't have connected. It wouldn't
Mm,
have it wouldn't have eventually triggered a stroke. I I don't blame Goldberg for that. I blame WCW.
I was gonna say that. I would blame the people at the power plant. I would
Yep.
blame the WCW for not training Goldberg. I mean, you see it now. You see it now with the piece at the performance center, and it's just phenomenal. And I don't know if you watched Ice Show Speed episode where he was getting trained by Randy Orton, and it have a phenomenal um it was a phenomenal episode, and and training him, and he looked really good.
Yeah.
But Orton said you need to, if you really want to do this, you need to do more and more and more and more training. However, WCW, they saw someone that looked like Austin, big ass dude, been in played for the Atlanta Falcons. Push that dude, see what he can do, and then let's go. He could do a spear because obviously American football, everyone does a fucking spear when they're attacking it. Um, I watched the longest yard. He was, but I was thinking like if they trained him so well, I don't think anything. Anytime we saw I saw this last night with Ron Breaker. I don't know if you saw Survivor Series when he took that what's it, the Road Warriors move,
The Doomsday Device.
Doomsday Fights, and you see him land on his neck.
Yep.
I mean, you got two of the cleanest, best wrestlers there in Cody and Punk.
Green Punk. Yep.
Shit happens. Shit happens, and unfortunately, that kick happens. Um, However, I blame mostly on it on WCW with a little bit being Bill Goldberg, but it's unfortunate. But we saw one of the best tricks ever of Bret getting speared by Goldberg and having a metal plate on around his ribs. I thought that was brilliant. I was clever, and he was wearing a Toronto Maple Leaf uh, ice hockey
The
jersey.
hockey
So
sweater. Yep.
I thought that was clever. And that's the best creative that WCW did that time.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
He retired in 2000, which was no surprise to us. He unfortunately had a stroke in 2002. He eventually went into the Hall of Fame in 2006. Uh,
Yes.
Reluctantly, I think it was. I think it was reluctantly because he did not show up at WrestleMania the night after. He did not show up when they announced all the Hall of Famers that come out.
Hmm.
They did not. Bret was not there because I think it was Howard Finkel or Justin Roberts said Bret Hart was not comfortable becoming out there.
Right.
Um, and then Rick, he did so many shoot interviews and just shat on WWE and everything else, which he's still doing that today. God bless him. 2010, January the 7th. I'm literally going off my head here. It's like a walking encyclopedia. Um, what did you think when hell froze over?
I never thought that I'd see it.
I mean, how old you? Honestly, how old are you then? Like 2010,
2010, so I would have been 26.
46. So
26. You rat bastard.
So 26, are you thinking, fucking hell, no way that you see Bret Hart coming out hugging Shawn Michaels?
Yep.
Like, I love that they made up. And I honestly believe they have made up. I never expected from the Royal Rumble for January all the way to that WrestleMania that we will see a Bret Hart storyline and a Bret Hart match at WrestleMania 26
No.
against Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
With all the Harts, I think Bruce was there and the young ones were there, like Harry, TJ, and Natty. That was a crazy match.
It was definitely a match.
It was a match. I would say it was more of a fight because it was definitely not a match. But to see Bret back in the ring, and then he obviously the family helped him, and it was a great moment. I think it cleared the air. I think.
Yeah.
I think they were doing a documentary on Bret at that time anyway, which I got on DVD somewhere. Who would have thought that months later he will be the US champion by beating Miz?
I saw that and I went, "Oh, wait, what? What just happened?"
And then a week later become GM of Raw.
Yeah.
It's just what? Do you think WWE failed to do any creative with that, or was it in our? Do you think there was in our intentions to do that?
I think WWE's whole reason for doing that was just to give a little bit something back to Bret.
Mm.
Hey, we're sorry we fucked up. Let's keep you on the books, get you some payday for at least a little while.
Yeah, I give it. Yeah. Um, After that, he got beat. He was part of the SummerSlam, wasn't he? It was John Cena's team for Team WWE versus
Yep.
Team Nexus.
Yep.
What was your take on the Nexus and the WWE storyline? I really liked it.
I really liked it too, but this is a big but. That match needed to go to Nexus.
That was a problem, though.
Yeah, John Cena.
Yeah, that doesn't work for me, brother.
Nope.
And it hurts for me because I'm a Wade Barrett fan, and that was
Yes.
total bad news. It shot on every single one of them, and then they started a core and just about shit. And then Bret disappeared after that, I think, and he just showed up whenever WWE asked him to. And then obviously Stu Hart is the father being inducted. Hopefully, it's probably near impossible now for Owen to be inducted. But
It's impossible for Owen to be inducted because Martha won't let WWE even speak his name.
yeah, it's crazy though because but there's a rift there in that family between Bret's. I think there is.
Yeah.
I could be totally wrong, but listen to all the shoot interviews and all the documentaries. It's just, I think it's Dark Side of the Ring also, where they did it on Owen.
Yep.
Said something about Bret and Martha, like half the way the family. What's your take on Bret today? The way he's going to shoot interviews. I mean, I wish I went to one of the shows he had in the UK because God damn, I would have laughed so hard. What's your take on his stories? I think this previous week, he said Vince and Shawn were shagging each other. I mean, what's your take on Bret's shoots, basically?
I mean, I don't want to say anything bad about Bret, I love the Hitman. He is my favorite wrestler of all time. But I'm gonna get real for a minute. This, Brett, I hope you're not watching.
But we're too small.
Yeah. This to me seems like the beginning stages of early onset dementia.
Bro.
Yes. And I hate saying that. I hate talking bad about Brett. But the way that he's flipping like a switch. He's talking bad about wrestling as a whole right now. He's talking bad about the way Sheamus throws punches, which nobody has ever had any problems with how Sheamus throws punches. Talking shit about Sean and Brett, Sean and Vince.
Mm.
I hate the way that Brett has been lately, but like I said, I think there is a reason.
Do you think that will hurt his legacy? The way some of the things he's been saying. So
I think it could. I hope it doesn't. I hope that his kids and his wife are able to say, hey, you know what, maybe you should step back, preserve your legacy. I really hope somebody is able to intervene on his behalf and say, hey, Brett, enough's enough.
yeah, I think the last I saw Brett was this past year WrestleMania where he made that little dig at Triple H after receiving the Hall of Fame, the Hall of Fame matches they do now.
Yep.
And I don't know if you saw it, it's like a meme. So when Triple H walking past after shaking his hand, he rolls his eyes and like that. I'm like, bit cringe. So let's end on the positivity. Your top 5 Bret Hart moments / matches.
Oh, all right.
Oh, this is improvised. This is not we're never scripted because fuck that.
Yeah. Number 5, as horrible as this pay-per-view was, I think this match stood out as probably the only good match on that pay-per-view. And that was the Hart brothers versus Shawn Michaels and the Knights at Survivor Series 93.
I agree.
Just because of the story that was told between the brothers and Owen.
That was the first seed. Was that like the first seed? That was like the seed when it started from the rivalry.
I think that was the first seed of the rivalry.
Yeah.
And not to mention, I was there for that one.
Son of a bitch. All right, next one.
Number 4, I'm gonna go with Bret versus Benoit in the Owen tribute match. Number 3 would be the WrestleMania 10 main event.
Yeah.
Where he beats Yokozuna, and afterwards he's up on the shoulders of, let's see, Macho Man, Bob Holly, 1-2-3 Kid. I believe Men on a Mission were out there.
Yep.
Okay. Number 2.
By the way, Bob Holly said it should have been him on Bret's shoulders, not the other way around. Just remember that.
Yeah. Number 2, the Canadian Stampede match.
Yes.
Chaos. It was pure chaos. Canada was 100% behind the Hart Foundation. It was loud. It was brutal. It was violent. I loved it. I love everything about it.
It was.
And my number 1, Bret versus Owen, WrestleMania 10.
Yeah, I knew that was a given. But it's so many. I mean, that match for me is brilliant. Yep. But my top 5 will be the 5 it's a motor screw job. 4, Bret versus Yoko 10, WrestleMania 10. What you said, Hart versus Benoit at WCW Nitro. Number 2, Bret versus Owen. I got Bret versus Owen or steel cage. I prefer the steel cage match. And number 1, Bret versus Bulldog 92 SummerSlam.
And I think the thing that made that match so special is Bret called that whole match because Davey was stoned out of his gourd.
As you do when you're in the 90s.
Yeah.
If you're from Manchester and you're in the early 90s, you're mostly stoned anyway. I like Britpop back then was just fucked. What do you think the legacy will be then for Bret Hart before we close this show? What do you think the legacy of Bret Hart is?
You have all these wrestlers right now that are my favorite wrestlers at the present time. And they all speak about Bret Hart being their favorite wrestler of all time. You've got CM Punk. You've got FTR. Oh, geez. You can shake a stick and hit 15 people that'll say Bret Hart was their favorite wrestler of all time.
Exactly. Do you think the thing with the legacy with Bret is he says it every time. He's the best there is, the best there was, the best there will be. However, I'm going to take a leaf out AJ Lee here. Do you know what her t-shirt says?
Yep. Your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler.
That should be the t-shirt for Bret Hart.
Yes.
Literally, that should be the t-shirt for Bret Hart in fucking pink and black. It's been crazy that he's had such from 84 to 2000. Well, I say 2000 when he first retired, but he's had one hell of a crazy career.
Yeah,
off and on, in and out of the ring. So, yeah, it's just a crazy career, and I do hope he gets better and comes down with the shooting.
I do too.
Next week we are going old school. What we did on our first couple of episodes, we are doing fantasy booking, where the last GM of the last real GM of NWL loves to do these. I mean, he's kicked my ass for the last 3 times we've done this, so he wants to go 4 for 4. Next week it'll be next weekend. It will be the wrestlers from the 2000s versus the wrestlers of today. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. So any promotion?
Any promotion. Since we just had Survivor Series, we're going to do it as a Survivor Series.
Ooh.
We must include one War Games match, at least one traditional Survivor Series match, and at least one women's match.
Oh. So the 2000s, is that from 2000 to 2009 or 10?
9.
Mate, I can guarantee you now, I'll go show my hand a little bit. 2009, Magic Work's going to be in that match somewhere.
And I will even do you a favor.
Oh, here we go.
I will pick 1 year.
Oh.
So I can only pick from 1 year. You can pick through the whole decade.
That tells you, ladies and gentlemen, how shit I've been for when we've done these. Yeah. Okay, then. You get to pick it 1 year, yeah?
Yep. I already know my 1 year.
Oh. You don't want to say it.
Nope.
So for the next like 5 or 6 days, I got you son of a.
Oh,
All
you
right.
better get to working because it's gonna be, to quote a great announcer, it's gonna be a slobber knocker.
Oh man, I gotta do something now. The 2000s. You still got ECW, you got WCW, but you got WWE. I'm not even gonna touch XPW or anything like that. Fuck that. That's gonna be a great. That's got me some thinking next week. If you guys want to join in, just put your match card in the comments or contact, or just put on our Facebook post, Wrestling Pedigree. Steve, where can people find you, sir?
You can find me right here on Wrestling Pedigree. You can find me, for the time being, on the Wrestling Roundtable. I am on Facebook. You can find me either under my personal, or sometimes I jump onto the Wrestling Pedigree Facebook. Find me on X. I don't remember what my name is on there because I just set it up. I think it's
Pedigree.
Pedigree_Steve.
Yes.
Yes. Try to find me on Instagram. Good luck. I don't know my username.
I love it.
And you can find me, like I said, every week on here with Maddie, talking about the thing that we all love to talk about.
Absolutely. Especially this past couple of weeks, pro wrestling's been on fire in all promotions, and I really just love talking about nostalgia, even today's wrestling. If you're a fan of NWL and the Meltdown, the roundtable will be going live in about a half hour on their Facebook page. So if you want to search for them, me and Steve will be joining them very soon. Yeah, you can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram, Wrestling Pedigree 92. We're on YouTube, Wrestling Pedigree 92. And you can find me on X. I'm Matt EW freaking A. And I'm just causing trouble, and I'm lucky I'm not barred by Elon Musk. So, next week, Fantasy Booking 2000s versus today's wrestlers. The following week, we will have the special John Cena show where I will have guests. We'll discuss our best moments, our best matches we could think of, including John Cena, and talk about who he will be facing at Saturday night main event. And we will have a special episode next Friday with me and Steve. We're talking to a very old school wrestler. Don't want to give the surprise away, but this guy's really good. And myself will be talking to Leo Woken from Magic of Wrestling and discussing his page and his podcast and just have a chat about professional wrestling. So there's a lot coming up on the Wrestling Pedigree, including Ross Report also. So from myself, Matty, and Steve Wilkins, the last real general manager of NWL, thank you for joining us. We'll see you guys next week. And enjoy pro wrestling this week and enjoy life.
Yes.